Hello, everybody, and here in for another episode of Book in Deep. Much frolic will
Deep,
be
deep,
had by
deep, deep.
all right now. Much frolic will be had. So we're going to be going over a few things, and I will be the first to admit, and people should know this. Yes, I'm very opinionated, but when I'm wrong, and we're going to get into that about something
Cause we was wrong.
factual
We
information that I was completely incorrect about. But we're gonna go back into the Quinn Hughes conversation, and we'll do it from a different perspective this time as to why he went to Minnesota and what might happen after that. We're also going to go into, and I freaking can't remember who our watcher was. That I believed it was Larry, who was an Ottawa Senators fan, who said that Marner was going to do good in the regular season and then fall off in the playoffs, just like he did in Toronto. And I don't agree. So we're going to look at that. And then, of course, how do we not look at what's going on right now? I mean, the finest thing in the land right now, the Olympics, of course. And I'm going to be doing that with Ron from RJ Media, who's always with me when we're having these discussions. Ron,
How you doing,
what
buddy?
how you doing, my friend? What are you thinking about all the hockey stuff going on right now?
Man, so I was just talking to my friend Russ, and he was like, "Yeah, what are you doing? What have you been up to?" And I said, "Man, I'm watching all kinds of great USHL junior hockey with the Muskegon Lumberjacks, with the Youngstown Phantoms, with the USHL National Development Team, with
Yes.
the, you know what I mean, with all those teams, the Fargo Force and the Waterloo Blackhawks and the Dubuque Fighting Saints and that whole league, and watching a lot of that hockey. And I'm in the process right now of recording the Penn State versus the Ohio State hockey game right now. Men's hockey is playing up in Hockey Valley right now with Gavin McKenna doing a record number of points in a single game by a first year player for NCAA. He had, wait for it, 8 points. Penn State won 11-4 against Ohio State on Friday, and they're playing again tonight to wrap up their season series with Ohio State. And watching that hockey, then watching some AHL hockey, and then of course watching some Olympic hockey. The Slovakians and the Finns played today for the bronze medal. And then the United States and Canada are playing tomorrow morning for the gold medal. So
Yes.
this is my favorite time of year, even though there's an Olympic break. I've been doing nothing but watching as the great Perlo would say, a divorce level of hockey.
Divorce worthy. Worthy. Yes.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have been watching a divorce worthy amount of hockey. So yeah, all right. I'm doing great, man. How you doing?
Good. You know what? We didn't talk about this before this, but I remember something. I thought this was a really interesting question, and I wanted to ask you about it before we get into the other stuff we're about to do.
Okay.
Um, what would you rather? Your country, the United States, winning the gold medal, or your team, the Philadelphia Flyers, winning the Stanley Cup? Which one would you choose if one had to be and the other one wasn't?
Hmm. Wow.
I knew that would be a tough one for you.
The fact that I'm even like hesitant about that, because I got to be honest with you, even though the gold medal drought for the United States hockey team has been since the 1980 Miracle, It's been a couple more years since the Flyers have had any kind of championship anything.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hmm.
With the fact that they're allowing the NHL players into the Olympics, I would go with the Flyers winning a Stanley Cup.
Yep. Okay. Gotcha.
Because if the United States doesn't win it this year, hey, in 4 years, you'd get the chance to do it again, right? The,
Right.
getting to the Stanley Cup finals is not a foregone conclusion, is not something that, unless you're a perennial contender, is anything you've been able to sniff since 2010.
Yeah.
Talking Flyers. So, I mean, I would take the Stanley Cup
Yep.
because I think that's the harder trophy to get. Because let's face it,
For
ever
sure.
since ever since ever since the Olympics allowed professional athletes, a la the Dream Team for the Summer Olympics in what was it, 92 or 84 or 88, whatever the Dream Team was in basketball. They had Michael Jordan and whatever, and then a couple of years later they had Charles Barkley and Kobe Bryant on the team and whatever, right? So now they're allowing the professional players to play in the Olympics. So I mean, almost every team had more than 5 guys on the team that played in the NHL. There was only like one or two teams, I think that was Italy, that didn't have anybody on the team that played currently in the NHL. You know what I mean? So, and the French team had a couple of ex NHLers on their team, but nobody currently playing on the team. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I would pick the Stanley Cup for the Flyers over the gold medal.
I think you know what a lot of people say the same thing. I personally, I used to align myself with the Edmonton Oilers back in the day. I was a huge Philadelphia Flyers fan. Still am. Still have a warm spot for the Philadelphia Flyers, but I don't really align to any team now. However, I'll put it this way: I consider the Stanley Cup the greater trophy than the Olympic gold. And no matter who my team is, the Stanley Cup is the more difficult trophy you're talking about an 82 game season where people grind together and grow together and it's not even an 82 game season. It's built over seasons that you build a team. Like the Florida Panthers had to build and build and build to get the team that they have. It went over seasons to get to that point. Tampa Bay, they got one a little earlier. Tortorella is a great coach, and even the general manager said that he didn't think they were ready for, being a contender, and they actually won it. And you get those.
But look at who they had on their team. If you look at who they had on their team, and then you look at who they had as their coach,
Yeah,
it doesn't surprise me at all the fact that they were able to hoist Lord Stanley.
right. It was. I forgot his name now. The general manager. He went to Calgary after that, but he said he felt they were still missing pieces to be a contender. However, that's an outlier. Normally, teams have to go a couple years and learn how to win and build a team over like 3-4 years to be in a position to be able to win a cup.
Yeah.
And that's why I think it is the greater trophy, because it's a trophy that is built over time. Where you go to the Olympics, you put a bunch of guys together and it's a quick thing where you could just have the
maybe 8 games. Maybe.
Yeah, exactly. And it's impressive that you got to kind of come together and everybody has to put their egos aside and all that stuff like that. But there's only still to this day, even with the parity in the more talent that's coming, overall compared to like years ago. It used to be just basically Canada dominated everybody, but now you got Finland that's in there, Sweden that's in there, United States certainly in there, and Canada. But besides that, it's still a tournament that is like a 4-team tournament, and all the other teams are just hoping that they can do something special. I just think that I guess I just love NHL hockey. I just love it more than anything. I'm even watching it now, like the best on best and all that. And I watch it and I'm like, yeah, can I have the NHL back, please? I
It's
still think
definitely a
it's great. I've
different
watched
game.
every game. I've enjoyed it immensely.
Yeah, me too.
But
Yeah.
I like the NHL format and NHL drama and all of the things that go with that draft.
No, I'm with you. I am so with you.
Watching the young kids learn to be part of the team and the trades and everything that goes on with it. To me, the NHL is just far surpasses.
I agree 100%. And that's why I picked the Stanley Cup over a gold medal.
Wow.
Look, I'm not trying to take anything away from a gold medal. And I've talked to plenty of players who have put on that sweater for their country and won a gold medal for their country.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? And they all look on that as a very, very fond memory. And I've seen some of their gold medals. You know what I mean? And they look really cool, and that's all fine and great. But when you get your name etched on Lord Stanley, that's forever.
It's a different.
Now, I'm not. It is exactly that hits
I
all
would say,
together different.
Conservatively speaking, and obviously I haven't did any, I haven't put out something where I have data on this or stats, but I've heard players talk in interviews and stuff like that. There's nary a player out there that wouldn't trade their gold medal for a Stanley Cup.
Probably to a man or woman.
Yeah. Pretty sure.
Okay. I'm pretty sure you could pretty much ask any woman if they could have a chance to put their name on the cup. Duh.
They would take the cup over the gold. All right. We did that. So we got it. I figured that's
what now.
You would say. And now we'll go to the corrections. And the last video I did, I went on a big blah, blah, blah about Quinn Hughes having a no movement clause. And that's why, he obviously wanted to go to Minnesota because he could have chose to go anywhere because he had a no movement clause and on and on and on and on. I didn't do research. I just assumed. And I was wrong. Not only did he not have a no movement clause, he had no clause. Nothing.
And he still has 1 year left.
And he we made him. Yeah, I didn't actually quite hear what you said because I was being me and not listening correctly. But he had one more. He has 1 more year left after this. Right. So I was wrong. But I will say this.
I was wrong too because I thought he had a no movement clause as well.
I think most people would have assumed so. But I couldn't believe it when I checked it. You know how I checked it? I put it on Twitter. I was having a discussion with someone about the whole thing, and I said, well, he chose to go to Minnesota. He had a no movement clause. And he came back and said, no, he didn't. And I was like, what? And then I went on to the Puckpedia there, looked at, and I was like, oh my gosh. He didn't have
no movement clause. He doesn't have one.
He doesn't have it. So I had to think a little deeper. And since we're in pucking deep, we're going to go.
You know what, though, Perlo? You know what, though, Perlo? I think we still hit on it.
I think so.
I still think, even though we got a couple of things wrong, I still think we hit on why he is where he is instead
Still
of
pretty
where
good
everybody.
points. I still think
Yeah,
that's a good point. Yeah.
exactly. Instead of where everybody thought he was going to go. You know what I mean? So, all right, lay it on us, man. What's the real deal
Okay.
here now?
So this got me to thinking, and of course, I had to get into some deep thinking. And
Because this is fucking deep, and well, you
this
know.
is fucking deep, and that's what I do. Yeah, I probably couldn't name the 52 states, but I can think deeply about
50.
this.
So how about 50?
Yeah, exactly. That's why I said 52, because I wanted it to be funny.
Oh, well, all right. All right.
So yeah, exactly. That was the whole point.
Right,
Anyways, okay, let's look at it this way. And this is the state of the NHL today compared to where it was before. You have no movement clauses. All right. And those are baked into the contracts and they have a little bit of protection. I'm going to say they have a little bit of protection.
Yeah.
Because let's say Quinn Hughes told his agent, I don't want to go to Minnesota, or even he himself called Guerin up himself, the manager of the Minnesota Wild, and said, I don't want to go there. I'm not going to be happy if they trade for me. I'm not going to re-sign with them. I don't want anything to do with it. And Guerin's agent Hughes' agent calls up Guerin and says, yeah, my client really doesn't want to go there at all, Bill. Like, not at all. He's going to be very unhappy if you make this trade. Do you think Bill makes that trade?
If Hughes calls him up and says, or his agent calls him up and says, my client wouldn't be very, I absolutely feel that he would not make that trade.
Certainly not for the package they gave up, right?
Right.
Like, they gave up a pretty big package there.
But that's only if Hughes said that or had his representation say that. So look, this is where we don't want it. We want to, cut off the speculation. We want to cut off the, we're trying to make a correction here on this. He does not have a no movement clause on his contract, which allowed the deal to happen for one.
To happen anyways. Right. So if he were to say that,
hold on. For two,
sorry about that, but
for two, he has still one more year left on his contract.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. And as we have said before, more than likely, what's going to end up happening is that he's still going to have to play in Minnesota for the next season unless he gets traded again.
Yes.
Or his contract gets bought out, because I did some research too. So they could potentially buy out his contract if he doesn't want to stay in Minnesota.
Right.
Okay. So that's what the deal is right now.
That's the way it is right now.
Right.
So, okay, with what you just said, actually, I didn't even think about the buyout side of it. So you even got that more. Guerin may have given up that package and just crossed his fingers because he has to go if Guerin makes a trade. There's no doubt about that. He has no choice. He has to go. Even if he calls up and tells his agent everything I just said, he has to go, right? So Guerin could say, okay, maybe he doesn't like the idea, but I think we have a good, strong family here, and he'll change his mind and all those kind of things like that. And if he doesn't, we'll buy him out for the year and he can move on somewhere else, or we can trade him to where he wants to go with very little leverage and not get very much money back on the deal, or probably not get the package they gave up. All right. But here's the thing. If I'm Bill Guerin, do I want to bring a guy in who everybody at that time will know? Maybe they keep it under wraps. Like they make sure that nobody in the room knows he doesn't want to be there. Okay, maybe. maybe they could do that, possibly, I guess. But I think it would become evident over time. And it's going to probably be a very difficult situation if anybody finds out that he doesn't want to be there to begin with. And you're trying to win a cup with this guy in the room. It's a bad room situation. No doubt about it. I think there's no doubt about that. Would you agree?
But I don't think that's the case.
No, it's not. Obviously.
That's not the case, because he's leading the league now in points for defensemen. Right. And when he got traded, man, he suddenly lit up.
Right. So let's take it further. The team he wanted to go to, and it's quite well known the team he wanted to go to, was his actual hometown in Detroit. He's from Michigan. That's where he wanted to go to. Unfortunately, Stevie Yzerman balked at the idea of his long-term contract, which I'm going to guess, and I said it the last show we did, is somewhere around 15 sheets.
Yeah, that's a big
somewhere
offer.
Around that. And he kind of balked at that $15 million long-term or whatever, for whatever reason. I don't know why, he's got his cap structure. I'm not going to poo-poo that, because I'm not going to say I'm a capologist here, but he has his cap structure and he doesn't want to go that direction with one player or whatever the case may be. That's his prerogative. So then the idea of Minnesota comes up, and we talked about this the last show we did. Ain't so bad being close to home, but not really being at home.
That close to home.
Right. And then
it's not that far. It's not that far.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially Minnesota, Detroit. Minnesota, Detroit's super close to each other. Like,
it really isn't. It's a few hour drive. You know what I mean?
It's a few hour drive and a half an hour plane ride.
Right.
You can bring your family in, or you could
charter a puddle jumper. You could charter a puddle jumper. You could
pay for your family. If you really want your family to be in Minnesota, you could probably pay for a ton of them to move to Minnesota. There's lots of things you could do. But so, and then when he did get traded, he said, I am very open-minded to signing in Minnesota. That doesn't sound like a guy who didn't want to go to Minnesota. But this is a guy, I believe, that could have said, I don't want to go to Minnesota. Please don't trade for me. Really, I don't want to be part of that organization. I want to go to New Jersey. Don't do this to me, sort of thing.
They would have made some kind of arrangement for him to do that, I think.
Yeah. Apparently, the problem in New Jersey is, well, first of all, Minnesota gave the better package. Secondly, they had problems getting the cap room underneath the cap to bring him there at this time.
That's the other problem.
So I think that could have been taken care of, though. There's players on the roster. They had Palat at the time. They could say, look, take Palat. We'll give you blah, 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 or whatever. There's things that they could have done probably to get under the cap. So this is the one possibility that would maybe give me the inclination that he'll go to New Jersey eventually. Vancouver could have said, look, we got a better package from Minnesota. They're having cap problems right now. We don't like the deal from New Jersey. So either you accept a trade to Minnesota or you're staying in Vancouver. They could have did that.
But here's the thing. We don't know what they did. All we know is this. We know that Hughes is now playing in Minnesota. Mm-hmm. He has been lighting it up since he's been in Minnesota.
Yeah.
He's playing like a guy who wants to be in Minnesota. Look, he
wants to win. Yeah, exactly. You're making a good point. Yeah, absolutely.
You don't come to a team that you don't want to go to and play your butt off and lead the league Okay, right? So you get what I'm saying here, okay?
Yeah.
So he's playing like a guy who wants to be in Minnesota,
And he said he
okay?
was very open to stay in Minnesota. So,
I'm
so
just putting one piece of cake in front of another piece of cake and getting the whole pie here. You get what I'm saying, right?
and we already talked about the fact that if he were
Right,
to the difficulties that could happen with New Jersey in our last episode, which I would recommend you go check out to see
right.
what
Highly.
exactly said. I actually did a short on it. You can go check that out too.
Those were cool, dude. I checked those out, man. Those were
Right.
cool.
So we went through the problems with that. I'm not, for the sake of time, I won't go through it. You can go check it out yourself at the problems of the reason why maybe New Jersey wasn't best for him.
Right.
So, I would say there's a really good chance he stays in Minnesota and he takes the money. And he's happy being there, especially if they do really good in the playoffs. New Jersey's in the bottom of the league right now. Right? Minnesota
Uh-huh.
is obviously selling high here and in win now mode.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of reasons why he might say, you know what, I'm not far from Michigan. I'm not really far from New Jersey. I can still see my brothers, but I don't have to live in Michigan where family's around me all the time and everybody knows who I am and all that. Although in Minnesota, they have a strong hockey culture there too. It's probably going to be
Slightly.
a little different.
Slightly.
It is a strong hockey culture, but I'm not sure that, the Vikings and the Timberwolves, they definitely are probably above the viewing.
Wait a minute. Time out. Time out.
You don't
You
think so?
you got a Big Ten school in
Yeah,
Minnesota
they love their college
that
hockey
play
more than their
that
NHL.
play hockey. All
Mhm.
right.
Yeah, I know.
So
I know.
um
I'm just
that
saying, I think there's more chance he can walk around Minnesota and not get noticed than Detroit.
and there's a
Just
lot of
simply.
players. There's a lot of players that have come from Minnesota that
Oh
now are
yeah,
playing.
I know. There's a
Okay,
strong
so
hockey culture there, no doubt about it. I'm
all
not saying.
right. So
Okay,
but that's the correction that we have and
we did the
and
correction. Though we kind
all
of
right.
gave our lean to what may happen, even though the correction was needed and it was incorrect to begin with. I don't think it really
Agreed.
changes all that
It
much.
doesn't. It doesn't. I don't think it changes anything, Perlo. I don't think it changes anything. I still think he was the one that had, I think he was the one that agreed to the trade and wanted to go to Minnesota for some of those exact reasons that you're talking about. I also feel that when it comes time to do it, that Minnesota is going to be able to give him the sheets that he wants.
Oh,
And
absolutely. They are
right.
definitely agreeing that. There's no doubt.
And that I have no doubts that that was part of the deal that was said to him is like, hey,
Right.
look, if you come here, we'll honor your contract and then we will offer you such and such for your
Yeah.
extension.
We're looking at 15 per year, 8 years. We
Whatever.
want you. They're selling
Yeah.
themselves like crazy. We
Right.
think
Okay.
we think you're the best defenseman in the NHL and you should get paid like it. We'll wait for Makar to do his contract and we'll at least equal it. We want you, and that's it. And we're
That's a good
planning.
point.
And we
Oh
and
my
we're
gosh, Perlo.
yeah. Makar's got a
Great
contract
point.
coming up right now. Yeah.
That is such a great point. I wasn't even thinking about that, man.
Mm.
But Makar is going to be the benchmark.
Yep.
Because I'll be honest with you, man. I really like me some Quinn Hughes, but dang, I like me some Cale Makar.
I do like Makar, but honestly, the last 2 years, I'd take Quinn Hughes over Makar. Makar, especially this year, he's kind of struggled this year.
I'm with you.
I'd take Quinn Hughes over Makar, to tell you the honest truth.
They've reduced the amount of help that he's had, and as far as in Colorado. But like I said, I still like me a Cale Makar all day long. So, but I'll take me some Quinn Hughes, but I'm signing up for some Cale Makar, a slice of that every day too. So that right there is going to be the benchmark for any defenseman that's even remotely in that stratosphere. And Quinn Hughes is one of those defensemen that's in that stratosphere. So,
Yeah.
all right. Moving
Okay,
on and
so
moving
next
upward.
move. We had a person in the chat. I believe it was Larry from Ottawa. I'm positive
Okay.
it was Larry. He's an
Yep.
Ottawa Senators fan. He's been following me personally for quite some time. And he put it out there.
Shout out.
Yeah. He put it out there in the chat, and I said I was going to talk about it the next episode, and this is the next episode. So I'm going to get into it. His prediction, he's not on an island here, of course. There's plenty of people that have the same prediction because Marner's apparent struggles in Toronto, not being there when the games matter in 5, 6, and 7 over the years he was there, his point production wasn't very good, right? Now, the question is that going to be the same in Vegas? And he said he's going to do the same thing he did in Toronto, blah, 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 blah.
Really?
Now, that's what he said. Yeah, he's going to do the same thing and I don't blame him for that or anybody who thinks that, because if you look at his history, that's what has happened. So if you're following the trend, you're probably going to go with Marner doing that. So here's my take. Marner in Toronto played in an extremely top-heavy team. They had Matthews, they had Nylander, they had Marner. Last year, they had Nyes playing really well. You see where Nyes is now, and that Marner's gone, though. You know what I'm saying? They had and what else? Tavares. They had Tavares. Tavares is excellent too, but besides that, you had Max Domi. They got Lawton. They had
Scotty Lawton.
Yeah, I mean Lawton's okay, but you're not. No, he's not going to be moving the needle very much in a direction. That's for sure. He got good ice time in Philadelphia. Happened to put up some numbers. Yeah, I'm not saying that he's a terrible player or anything like that, but it's a huge drop off that group. And they played Marner or especially Berube last year. Marner played the most minutes on the penalty kill.
Okay.
He played the most minutes in the offensive zone and third most in the defensive zone, basically in a shutdown role. He played the most minutes all together. And amazing stat here that I found online. Last year there was 10 of the top 10 players. They had a amount of time a player played against elite competition. So they had their top 10. Of the top 10, 9 of those players were defensemen, which makes sense, right? They're on the ice the most. They're going like shutdown defensemen or great defensemen generally play against the team's best players as much as possible. Only one was a forward, and you know who that would be. Mitch Marner.
Drum roll, please.
Right. Now, here's a more impressive stat.
Wow.
Of the 10,
really impressive.
Of the 10 that are defensemen, which you would think would automatically, just no doubt about it, be there, he was 5th.
So in that top 10 list, 9 of them are defensemen. He's a forward and he's 5th.
Right. He was ahead of 4 of the defensemen in the league that played against elite competition. And there is no forward even close. I think the next forward was Eichel, and he was like 18th, and he's playing with Eichel right now.
Yeah, right. So
Yeah. I mean,
Wow.
okay. So
Wow.
now the reason why I'm saying this is he didn't get any breaks down the stretch. They were so interested in winning the division. They kept on playing him all the way through. He played, I think, every single game. You know, great players like great teams like Tampa Bay, Florida. You see what they do, right? Last
Yeah,
10 games, Chuck doesn't play. They give
very
everybody a
much.
rest, all that kind of stuff like that. There's more to it too. Kachuk and Marshawn in the regular season, or Kachuk especially, Bennett, those guys generally don't play defense that much. Barkov, who got the Selke Trophy last year, played less than half the shorthanded minutes than Marner did, and he was somewhere around 50th against elite competition, and he won the Selke last year.
Wow.
So, do you think this guy might be a little bit tired come playoff time? They beat the crap out of this kid. They put pressure on him like a son of a gun. They played him unbelievable
Yeah.
difficult minutes all year. So in the playoffs, he would do well early in the series, and then he all of a sudden he wasn't effective in 5, 6, and 7. Really, you think? I
Really?
mean,
Yeah, after playing a season like that?
yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
So
So,
now,
and this was
do you think
not as much all through the time he was in Toronto, but it was still very, very much significant the way he was played. And you're playing in the pressure in Toronto. I get that. So now he's in Vegas. Okay. In Vegas, he's playing 80 analytics. When you look at analytics, he's playing what we call 80% above replacement against top competition. In Toronto is 100, and I don't think they have anything over 100, but it would probably be over 100. So he's not playing against top competition as much. He's not playing on the power play. In fact, his or penalty kill, he's going to be less than half on the penalty kill than he was last year, and less than any time he played on the penalty kill the whole time he was in Toronto. He's also playing when Howden was not hurt. He was the winger for Howden. Okay, Howden. Now he played with Stone, so he's getting a point a game. He's playing in tough competition as well, but not as much, and he doesn't play as much penalty kill. But when he was in Toronto, he had Matthews as his center. Now you're playing with Howden. You're not going to be putting up tons of points against, and he's not playing as many minutes as he did before. And
so? I
then when Howden got injured, get this, they made him the center. The dude never played center in his life. So he's doing all of this, playing out of position or with a very inferior center in a shutdown role, and he's getting a point a game. But I think he's going to be much more fresh for these playoffs than he ever was in Toronto.
so I
And
looked him up.
and he has a much better team in front of him. In
Yeah.
in Toronto, when they got to the playoffs, every team knew that you shut down Matthews and Marner. You give Tavares, of course, is great too. But if you shut those guys down, the rest of the team can go against their lower lines, and you're probably going to be fine. In
So check
Vegas,
this out. Check this
not so
out, right?
much.
The last 3 years in Toronto,
Mm-hmm.
he's averaged 21 minutes a game.
Yeah.
Right now in Vegas, he's 19 minutes a game.
2 less minutes. That's quite a bit.
See, that is quite a bit,
And
right?
and lighter minutes. You're not
Yeah.
playing against the other team's top line all the time. Even though he is a shutdown guy, they can split it up with Eichel. Eichel's an amazing two-way player. Stone should have got a Selke by now. Who else do they have there that is in that category? It was Carlson, but he's been injured. But my point is they've got a way deeper team there. Oh, Dorofeyev, underrated shutdown guy, very good. They didn't have that in Toronto. They didn't have this kind of depth there. They don't need to depend on him for all the scoring or the penalty killing.
They got
Shea. Yeah, I mean, better defense too. Better defense, no doubt about it.
Noah
so
Hannafin.
That was the other thing. You brought up a really good point. In Toronto, they didn't have defensemen that could move the puck, and they still don't.
No, they don't.
When he was playing, help out the defenseman a lot, and he did. He did, unlike Nylander and some of the other guys they have there.
No comment.
This guy was playing unbelievable difficult minutes. So I believe Marner will have a very good playoffs this year. That might take.
I think
he will too.
Yeah, I think he will too.
But I don't agree with him. What do you take? What are your take?
Yeah, I think he will too. I think he's going to have a better playoffs because of the fact that he's now played with that team now for a period of time, and everybody's used to everybody and things of that nature. And he's got, he's not doing too bad, to be honest with you.
He's got a better support cast, right?
Hello. But the fact that he's got 58 points so far this season, you know what I mean? And he's only playing 19 minutes a game.
He's playing 2 less minutes a game, yeah.
I absolutely believe that this is one of the reasons why they brought him in here, so that when Vegas goes to the playoffs, they're going to have guys like him there. And if they keep doing what they're doing, keeping him, throttling him, not having him play such tough minutes, having him not play as many minutes, so that when it does come time for the playoffs, hey, guess who's going to be nice and fresh?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
at least more fresh than he ever was.
Not quite as banged up, not quite as hurting, not quite as limping in. You know what I mean? That kind of thing. So I'm with you on that.
I don't know too many wingers that would get a point a game playing with Howden as their center. Howden doesn't create anything. He just goes up and down, hopes it bounces off his ass and goes in. And that's pretty much what he does.
You're right. You know,
he's got a bit of a shot and all that kind of stuff like that. But you're not creating. All right. They're not playing him with Hurdle or somebody more talented.
No, right? Right.
Anyways, So that's what I wanted to take on that. Now I'm going to let you take it because a little more here, because we have to talk about the Olympics. And
we do.
We have to talk about the gold medal game. We have to talk about some of the things that have been going on there. Well, there's been a lot of talk about
Milan,
the people selected for the teams in Milan.
Yeah,
all of that kind of stuff like that. And you are more in tune with than I am in this Olympic, I would think. But certainly with the United States, I've been in the United States for just over a year. You've lived here your whole life. What do you think about this team in the United States and the team that they selected and their chances against Canada coming up in this gold medal, my friend?
So I was a little I was a little taken aback by some of the choices that they made, of players that they selected for the team, for the United States team.
Hmm.
Um, I wasn't surprised with what Team Canada did, but I was very surprised by some of the guys that they picked, for Team United States. And the fact that you did not put Jason Robertson on Team United States, I think it's a big mistake. And
Hmm.
when you look at the makeup of the United States team, it's built for the Four Nations tournament, which allowed fighting, allowed the physicality, allowed that kind of grind it out, smash mouth kind of hockey, which the Kachuk brothers, which the type of team that they're putting on the ice right now plays. Okay. And they played against teams like Czechia and Finland, who are more of a skill team, and gave the United States a hard time. Not saying that the United States wasn't able to overcome them with sheer talent, which is what I think happened. Okay. And let's face it, Hellebuck has been playing stupid crazy good. Okay. So
Yeah.
I, there was a couple guys on the team that I didn't feel should be on the team. There was a couple guys that they didn't bring on that I should have that I felt that they should have brought on. All things considered, United States has a very scrappy team, a team that could potentially get under the skin of of the of the of the big red leaf team. You know what I mean? But when you look at the roster that Canada is putting out, I mean, I just want to take this and go how you can look at it. You had Sidney Crosby named as your captain. He missed the semifinal game, and it didn't really matter. It didn't matter that Sidney Crosby, one of the greatest hockey players, I mean, we talked about it. He is one of the greatest players to ever lace him up, and he didn't play, and it didn't matter. Okay, when you have the likes of McDavid, McKinnon, Celebrini, I, I, McCarr. This team, this Canada team is so deep and so stacked that the only weakness I think is their goaltending.
For Canada, you think the
Yeah,
goaltending is a weakness? Okay, could be.
I mean, I get it. It's Bennington, and I get it, and he's one of the better goaltenders that they got on the team. But if you want to look at a weakness on Team Canada, that's what I would say, because their forward line, their defensive line is stacked. They got prolific scorers all up and down the roster. They got defensemen that are have no problems with finishing their checks and taking you down, and then also jumping up into the rush. They play the penalty kill really well. I mean, these guys are this is like the all-star team of Canada against the all-star team of the United States. And I at some point is it I fear that United States is taking a gun or taking a knife to a gunfight. I mean, I
Yeah,
hate to kind of I hate to kind of put it like that, but the only thing that I think is going to help the United States is, and more than likely, Cindy's probably going to play. He practiced today. This is for the gold medal. I
you,
guarantee you that Cindy Crosby is going to get whatever shot he's going to
uh,
need, or taped up, or he'll be out there on crutches for a freaking gold medal.
I just before you continue, I could have swore you said Cindy. Did you?
I might
Did
have.
you say Sydney? I
Cindy
could have
Crosby,
sworn.
Cindy, I don't know.
Yeah,
I
it's
got
in your head. Yeah, no, I'm just faking fun of you. I know you. Yeah, you're bitter about.
Look, I'm a Flyers guy, man. Come on. I'm still trying to give the kid.
I gotta
props,
grind
okay?
you a little bit, dude. Every
That's all right,
once in a
buddy.
while, I gotta grind.
It's because it's
Okay.
it's done
Anyways,
out of love.
continue with what you're
It's
saying.
done out of love. It's done out of love. I get it. No, I get it. But
It's so ingrained in you.
it is. It just is. But
I think that's hilarious.
if Sydney,
Yeah.
if Crosby doesn't play, right? It doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. But he practiced today, so I think he's gonna play. And let's face it, it's for the gold medal. I guarantee you, Crosby's gonna be lacing it up. Okay. And when he wasn't there, they gave the C to McDavid. Right? So the fact that you got McDavid on your team, I mean, you got McDavid on your team. What? Seriously? Do you really need anybody else? Look, I don't care who the United States thinks they're going to be able to put up against this team. Okay? I think it's an uphill battle for the United States. And I'm not saying that it's great having the Kachuk guys out there and all that, but you got a grinded team against an elite team, an elite scoring team, and I just don't think it's going to pan out very well. I think you got a Mike Sullivan coach team that's going up against a John Cooper coach team, and I just don't like the odds for the United States on this. This is the game that everybody wanted. This is what everybody was clamoring for. Everybody wanted the United States and Canada, blah, 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 blah. For the women, it was a good game. But for the men, I don't know, man. I don't have the warm fuzzies about the United States winning.
No, it's funny. We didn't talk about the women, but those are really good takes. Something you brought up that I didn't even think about. Cooper against Sullivan. I mean, Sullivan's a good coach, but I mean, you're talking about one of the most genius minds of all time, who's probably going to finally get his Adams. Finally.
You think? I
think they're just going to give it to him, even though even though you got that kid in Pittsburgh who's doing things with that team that nobody saw coming. You got McClellan. A lot of people didn't have Detroit in the playoffs. I did, by the way. But a lot of people didn't. And you're seeing the turnaround with the Sabres and Ruff. But Ruff has already won one before, so it's not hard to fade him. I think Cooper is probably going to finally get his Adams, and he well deserves it. Like, if there was anyone that just got an honorary Adams, that's the guy right there.
I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you.
Doesn't get enough credit for how Tampa Bay, how good Tampa Bay is. I mean, we're talking about a guy who's built a system in there that it seems like anybody can pop in there, and like they were out 4 of their top 6 defensemen this year, and it didn't even seem like they skipped a freaking beat, dude. He built that system in the minors. Like, he taught it to coaches. He told them, this is the system, and that's when you play in the minors, you play the exact same way you do in Tampa Bay. Philly might want to take that into consideration. The Edmonton Oilers might want to take that into
So that's what's going on in Philadelphia now. So John Snowden is now the coach now in the Lehigh Valley, and they're playing the same system that the assistant Canadian coach Rick Tocchet is got his system is implemented in Philadelphia.
Oh, that's good to hear.
And the AHL team, the Phantoms, are playing the same system. That awesome. Was not the case when Tortorella was there, and Ian LePerriere was the coach of the Phantoms.
Right. And that might not have been to do with Tortorella, but just finally the organization realizing that we got to do what we got to do. Probably Tocchet, when he got hired, said, look, this is the first thing we're doing. But anyways, getting back to it. Okay, so a little background on me. I was born in Canada, was born in Toronto. I moved from Toronto when I was 12 to Edmonton. I lived in Canada for 50 years, pretty much 50 years, and loved it. I mean, I love Canada, no doubt about it. Heart and soul. It's my roots. Great. Wouldn't be as much of a fan of hockey today, probably, if I wasn't living in Canada. I think it's the greatest game in the world. So if Canada wins, happier than heck. But, I say but, I've been living in the United States now for just over a year. I've traveled through the United States with the job I used to have before. So I've traveled around the United States. And I love it. I love the United States too. I love them. I love them both in different ways. Deeper roots in Canada, I will say. But you know what I love more than both of them? Hockey. I love hockey more than my country that I live in or did live in. I love hockey. So to me, either team wins here, and I'm actually happy.
Yeah, I'm with you.
There's a part of me that wants Canada to win because it's my roots, and I love the fact that I was given such an opportunity to grow in this great game, living in that country, and that'll never go away. I'll always be that.
Right.
But there's another part of me that wants the people of the United States to be able to experience what I experienced in Canada and grow this game here in the United States.
Yeah.
There's a really big part of me that wants that to happen. It's not up there even in the top 6 or 7 most watched sports in the United States, and I think that's criminal.
Agreed.
But if the United States wins this gold, I think there's one more step towards more people recognizing the greatness of this sport. So if the United States wins, I'm very happy. I really am. I'm so happy either way, both ways.
I'm with you.
Who do I think is going to win? I'm with you on this. I think it's probably Canada.
Yeah.
It's just that.
That
lineup is just insane. You got 2 incredible shutdown lines with Reinhardt, Stone, Suzuki.
I didn't even get into the second line.
Yeah. And they're shutdown lines. Like these are lines that can shut you down. You got a Connolly who's not playing. If Connolly or you've got no Connolly's in the United States, so they have a defensive side. You've got players that are not playing in Canada for the Canadian team that are very, very good, but they're not as good defensively. Now you go to the United States, if I was 13 years old, I would have both Kachucks on a poster on my wall. I love these guys. Love.
Yeah,
love.
all day long.
Unbelievable.
And McAvoy, McAvoy's kind of growing on me a little too.
Larkin, I mean, come on. Matthews, people are pooping on Matthews. I think, like I mentioned with Marner,
he's just quietly doing his thing. I love it.
Yeah. And he's been, like I said, with Marner, he's in a tough situation there in Toronto. He's a great player. Doesn't get enough credit for how good he is. They have very good. They have very good defensemen there.
Yeah.
I would say probably on paper a better defense. And then you got Connor Hellebuck, who's just, I mean, when he's dialed in, that guy is so hard.
And I got to tell you something, man. He's pretty dialed in.
He's pretty dialed in right now.
He's pretty dialed in.
Hellebuck is a goaltender that could steal it for him. Like, he's that good. And you mentioned like Bennington, he seems to come through in these big spots, but honestly, when you watch him, it's really looks funky a lot of the
It
time.
does,
Like
right?
I
Like I don't
seriously,
have quite the confidence. I don't have quite the confidence. Like if I was going into a game and I was going into a game and I had to choose between Hellebuck
in
and
Bennington,
Bennington,
Hellebuck all
I
day.
that's what I mean. I would take Hellebuck all day.
Right.
The other thing I think too that what you touched on as well, Perlo, is this. United States hockey is at a crossroads, I believe, in the United States. And
Yeah.
what I mean by that is this. Right now, the junior hockey landscape is about to drastically change.
Yes.
And it is going to allow the players much more freedom to
Yeah.
choose and pick where they
Hmm.
want to go play hockey.
Yeah.
And the United States, over the last couple of years, have done all the things to get it to where they can draw these kids
Yeah.
because
Yeah. Best coaches.
they're drawing them from Germany, they're drawing them from Denmark, they're drawing them from Finland, they're drawing them from Slovakia,
Yeah.
and they're getting, like you said, Perlo, top notch coaching in the
Yeah.
United States Hockey League.
And
And
here's another aspect of college. What's the biggest thing? One of the biggest things that
not college, I'm not talking college, I'm talking USHL junior.
USHL, even
Yeah,
USHL, doesn't matter. Yeah,
USHL.
they're drawing. Well, all of them are because they want to go to college. And
Right.
right, here's the thing. What is the one aspect that a lot of teams and coaches are concerned about for a player making the jump to the NHL? Even no matter how much talent they have,
Right.
it's their size and development physically. And I'm telling you right now, nobody does it better than the United States. Nobody. Not even close. And not Canada. You're playing junior, you got to find a gym in the town you're in to go do whatever you do. You go to USHL or college, there's a gym right there for you.
Now I'm going to tell you something, Perlo. I've had the
And
opportunity to look
trainers
at
to help you
facilities.
do it.
I've had the opportunity to look at facilities already for the USHL. Okay.
Yeah.
Top flight stuff going on there.
Unbelievable.
Okay. They've got
Unbelievable.
facilities for these kids that is unbelievable.
Yeah.
The family atmosphere that they put these kids in, okay,
Mhm.
where they stay with the billet parents and the whole 9 yards. It's amazing how these hockey players are taken care of in the United States Hockey League.
Yeah.
And and I got to be honest with you, man, if I don't ever go to another professional hockey game, if I don't ever cover another professional hockey game, as long as I can cover USHL, I will be happy
Yeah.
because I want to see this grow to the point where it is the premier place to come and play junior hockey. And if the United States wins gold, that is going to help cement
Mhm.
that into the annals of junior hockey. Because I'm going to tell you something. When you go to these stadiums, right? Guess what you see hanging from the banners and the rafters and the walls? All the players that used to play there.
Of course. Yeah. Yeah.
And if
Now,
now they're suddenly got a gold medal around their neck,
yeah. No, if
that's what I'm
Canada
saying.
can't even hold a candle to the facilities and the attention I can't. I'm sorry. I'm from Canada and we can't even. And I've said it before and I'll say it again. I was born in Canada. I love Canada, but I don't want Canada to have the best players in the NHL. I want the United States to have the best players in the NHL. And the reason for that is because there's 355 million people in the United States. that is a way more opportunity for this great game to grow. I mean, way more opportunity. It's
Yeah.
saturated in Canada. We're ingrained. It'll always be the fabric of our country, of Canada. No doubt about it. But it ain't growing anymore there. It ain't.
Yeah.
It's in the United States that this game is going to grow. And I've said it earlier and I'll say it again. I love this game more than I do my country. And I want this game to grow. I want this game to grow all over the world. I want this game. I want the NHL. I want hockey to be as popular in the United States as basketball. They'll probably never hit football status, but but somewhere close to that top four. I want people to appreciate the beauty of this sport and as many people as possible, because
The fact that we're getting to the point now where we're starting to see some of the same types of contracts that we're seeing in the NHL or in the NFL, we're now seeing in the
getting a
NHL,
little closer. Getting a little closer.
where guys are making double-digit figures
right
a year instead of just 6 or
They're
7 million.
at least getting to the point where you might be the backup quarterback.
Oh yeah, right. He's making 11 mil a year. Oh, he's only the backup quarterback. But in the NHL, he's the top scoring forward going. All right.
The best player in the world is making probably what your average backup quarterback is making. But anyways, we're getting there. All right. We could go on forever, but thank you for listening to Puck in Deep. For those who like
deep.
For those hockey geeks like us who love to talk NHL and every nook and cranny and things that are going on, trades, who's going to win, futures,
love it.
All of that kind of stuff like that. This is what it's for. For those of you who maybe like the NHL in an unhealthy level for your life, which I appreciate, by the way. This is for you. This is why we're here. Exactly. So thanks for listening. Next episode, I don't have a foreshadow for what we're going to talk about. So you're going to be surprised, I imagine. But Ron, thanks again. Of course.
You got it, brother.
Why wouldn't you come in? It's your creation. What more can we find there at R&J Media Sports right now?
Well, you can find, I'm getting ready to put out a show called The Huddle, a Black and Gold podcast, what I do with my buddy Gage. We talk about the Pittsburgh Steelers. So I'm producing that show. I got some potential interviews lined up with some players from the USHL as well. I also have an interview lined up with a guy who teaches players. He's a coach, a video coach, and a physical coach. He teaches them drills. He shows them how to break down video, and he's done quite a few of the players that have been drafted in the last couple of years. I'm really, really excited. I had him on once about a year ago, and I'm really excited about having him on again. So I'm looking forward to that as well. His name is Billy Sullivan. It's Sullivan Hockey. Got to go check that out. If your kid wants to play hockey, this is the guy that you want to talk to, because he will train your kid how to play hockey, teach him how to do the video, break down the whole 9 yards. Sullivan Hockey. That's where you need to go in order to get your kid trained up for hockey. But I'm looking forward to that. Also looking forward to some more great Puck and Deep stuff. For sure. So hop on over to the YouTube channel, check that out, hit the like and subscribe. Check me out on X at RJ_media, man. Thank you, Perlo, for putting this out on your channel, man. Really appreciate it, bro.
No problems. Also, Perlo's NHL POW. That's my Twitter. You are going to want to become a community member quick.
Get signed up.
You're only going to be able to do it for a certain amount of time, and there are some perks coming your way that'll be very profitable for you as soon as the regular season starts. And if you're a community member, it's going to be fantastic. I'm starting
Awesome.
I'm starting a Discord, and I'm going to be I'll tell you right now, you're hearing this first on Puck and Deep. I'm going to be partnered with Winnable. Winnable is a betting site that allows me to give you extremely affordable, and this was the most important thing for me, extremely affordable product. And if you're a community member, it's going to be even more extremely affordable to be able to get all my picks. I'm just about to do a video after this that will show you the record that I've had this year, which will blow your mind, my friends.
I mean, that's why he's one of the best, man.
I'm on the Ice Guys, of course. Wednesday when the season starts, I'll be on there. Monday, Wednesdays, Ice Guys voted best NHL podcast in North America last 2 years and continuing to be so. I would watch them every day. Go check them out, subscribe to them, but I'll be on there. And you don't want to miss this, man. It's just all you got to do is go to Perlo's NHL POW, follow me, go to the community, go to my profile. It's highlighted on my profile. Hit that because it is
get signed up, man.
Incredibly
got to get signed up.
Also, if you are not a bettor at all, first of all, watch this. Second of all, Ice Guys, even though they do betting, it's the most in-depth betting NHL show on YouTube by far. And you get a lot of cool takes and a lot of understanding of the game in general. You don't have to be a person who bets anything.
Exactly.
So go check that out and make sure you sign up to RNJ Media. Subscribe to that. Subscribe to RNJ Media Sports. Write it down. Get in there because he's got great content there in many ways. Lyle Richardson at Spectre's Hockey. By the way.
Yep.
Go
man.
to that website. It's fantastic. Lyle Richardson's one of the best writers I personally have ever seen. I've been following ever since I've been knee-high to a grasshopper on Hockey News. I love this guy. I loved him I loved him my whole life. And for the love of God, he comes on and talks to us now. It just makes me happy on my inside.
How sick is that, right? Like, how sick is that?
All right. That's my full 42, my friends. I've only got 42 to give, but the 42 I have, I give 100% of it
10%
to you. Till next time on Puck and Deep. Enjoy the Olympics. Enjoy the games. Love y'all. Okay, bye.